An afternoon at a lunch counter, a speech about a dream that resonated far beyond the National Mall, a letter from a Birmingham, Alabama jail, and a devastating explosion. The year was 1963, with the event sparking a surge towards equal rights in the U.S. for people of all races. Many turned towards Birmingham, where nonviolence overcame violence. That was a pivotal year for our city, our state, and our country, and the entire world, said Lakita Middleton Holmes, Executive Director and Master Guide for the Birmingham-based Visionary Civil Rights Heritage Tours. It changed from an era of segregation to the civil rights and equality for all. In the year leading up to the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964, brave men, women, and children risked their lives to abolish segregation and gain equal footing in a society of inequality. That history resonates today. I think that a lot of your younger generation will feel disconnected from this history, Middleton Holmes said. If we don't know our history and where we came from, we are doomed to repeat it. With my tours, we have many ways to tell the story. Birmingham marks the Civil Rights Campaign's 50th anniversary in 2013. Several commemorative events are slated in the city's Civil Rights District, which is anchored by the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, Kelly Ingram Park, and the 16th Street Baptist Church. The park, a gathering place for demonstrations in the early 1960s, is now a showcase for sculpture. A new audio tour is being rolled out for the 2013 commemorations. A historical marker is at the church, which continues as a place of worship and offers tours, both honoring the memory of the 4 little girls lost in the 1963 bombings. Not everything happened in Birmingham. The civil rights movement played out in cities throughout the South from Arkansas to Washington, D.C. Rosa Parks' act of bravery in Montgomery, Alabama came simply. The 42-year-old African-American seamstress sat just behind 10 seats reserved for whites. When those were filled, she refused to make room for another white passenger. Her December 1, 1955 arrest for her reluctance catalyzed protests about segregation laws. The Rosa Parks Library and Museum on the Montgomery campus of Troy University has a replica of Parks' bus that can take groups on Montgomery tours. A decade after the boycotts, voting rights advocates took their grievances to Alabama's governor, walking 54 miles from Selma to Montgomery. The protests grew, turning violent at times. While things came to a head on Bloody Sunday in March 1965, that did not deter protesters. In August 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act, landmark legislation that might not have happened without the protests. The Selma to Montgomery National Historic Trail connects locations along the 54-mile protest route. Tours are available at the trail's Selma Interpretive Center, adjacent to the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where a 1965 confrontation rallied civil rights movement support, and the Lowndes County Interpretive Center, a Haneyville museum. While Parks was changing history, Martin Luther King was pastor for 6 years at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery. Today, the Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church and the Dexter Parsonage Museum are open for tours. A block south of the church is the Southern Poverty Law Center's Civil Rights Memorial Center. In May 1961, the Freedom Riders were attacked during attempts testing 2 U.S. Supreme Court anti-segregation rulings. The Freedom Riders started in Jackson, Mississippi, putting the city at the forefront of the civil rights movement. They arrived in Anniston, Alabama, encountering violence on both ends of their journey. I think the thing that surprises people the most is they just have no idea how much is here in Jackson, said Marika Cackett from the Jackson Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Mississippi Freedom Trail links civil rights sites across the state. One of the trail markers is at the Jackson home of Medgar Evers, an NAACP field secretary slain in 1963 at the residence. Visits to the site with tours and exhibits can be arranged through Tougaloo College. The last space on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. is home to the Martin Luther King Jr. National Memorial, It's one of several sites in the nation's capital connected with the struggle for civil rights, as irreplaceable as the Emancipation Memorial, Library of Congress, and the Frederick Douglass National Historic Site. For more information, visit these websites.